future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
She's passionate about telling stories of amazing women who are rocking the world and empowering women to live, love, and thrive. Here's your host, Katherine Gray.
Thank you, and welcome to Live, Love, Thrive, Women's Empowerment Hour, brought to you by 360karma.com. I'm so excited today to talk about the Women's March that's happening here in LA and around the country on January 21st. And today we have the co-chair of the event that's happening here in Los Angeles in downtown, and that would be Deena Katz, who is also co-executive producer for Dancing with the Stars, as well as other popular programs. And then later in the show, we're going to have Tammi Leader Fuller, who is the founder of Campowerment, and she actually left her job as a television executive for the Today Show, and she created Campowerment, which helps empower women and have them have fun doing it. So we'll talk to her a little bit later. But first up, please welcome Deena Katz.
Hi, thanks for having me. Happy to be
Deena.
here.
Oh, happy to have you.
Yep.
I know we were talking about taking on this endeavor of being a co-chair of this.
Wow.
Right.
Of
this
just,
event.
wow, every day. Just
Yeah.
amazed
Yeah.
and inspired, but wow.
Yeah, because I know you don't have anything else to do.
Nothing. I'm like just sitting at home eating bonbons. I don't know if they have bonbons anymore.
So I definitely want to let our listeners know about how they can be involved. I know it's at Pershing Square on Saturday the 21st.
Right.
And it starts at 9 a.m.
Right. We're going to start it at 9 a.m. To gather. The march will actually begin at 10 a.m., but at 9 o'clock for about an hour, we'll have speakers. We're going to have a stage there. We'll have a lot of mayors, politicians, community leaders that will speak as we're gathering, because we're probably expecting a couple 100,000 people. So it has grown daily.
Wow.
It's insane. And it's
imagine
fantastic.
from that speech last night from President Obama.
You know what? I will, I'm on the way. I'm on the way over there after this, and I will see then the numbers. It's even when Meryl Streep spoke the other night at the Golden Globes, the traffic on the site after she spoke, it's fascinating, because this is not my world I came from. It's fascinating to watch, like, in real time, as people are scared, as people are motivated, as people want to do something, and you see the numbers grow.
Right.
So we'll start at 9. We'll march from about 10 to 11:30. We'll march over to City Hall. We'll have some speakers there. We'll march back to City Hall.
Okay.
And then we'll have a big event at Pershing Square.
Do you know what speakers you're going to have?
We're going to announce this in the next couple of days. We have everyone from Mayor Garcetti to,
wonderful.
Yes, we have elected officials. We have the heads of big, LGBTQ and GLAAD and community leaders and the Muslim community. And we're really trying to, these speakers that are both at the beginning of Pershing Square and at City Hall are much more community-based, elected official-based. When we get onto the main stage, we're going to have big entertainment, and we're going to have celebrities and speakers, and still some more of that, but it's a little more entertainment-based for the fun after the march.
Right. And I would think being affiliated with being one of the exec producers for Dancing with the Stars and Bill Maher show, which, by the way, I love.
Well, thank you very
love
much.
that show.
Two shows that I do.
You all must be bringing in some pretty amazing entertainment.
You know what we're trying. Yeah. We're also working with both DC, and Sundance is having a nice contingency. The awesome thing is the states all around the country are doing this, and there are actually countries outside the United States that are doing the march on the same day.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so there's over 150 of our marches right now. And so, DC has their group, and what's really nice about Sundance, where you wouldn't have normally thought Utah would have a big contingency for the Women's March, is now Chelsea Handler, and there's a lot of people there.
Oh my gosh.
So we're all talking together of making the empowerment across the country. So we will have, and I'll have a dancer or two on stage, of course.
Oh,
but,
cool.
Yeah, bringing my people in.
Well, I know Obama said yesterday, lace up your boots, get out there and be an activist. And so this is one way that people could do that.
This is why I did this. I think we all have, our our march is going to have T-shirts that says "Why I March," and then you can fill in why you march. And I think everyone has a different reason right now. Mine personally is voter registration. I think some is the LGBT community, some are workers' rights, some are religious rights, some are reproductive rights, and that's all very important to me too. But my feeling is things don't get changed unless we can change from the ground up. We have to change in 2018. We have to make some differences in the political world and get more of our voices in there. So what we are doing is, after we actually march, the 12 to 2:30 part at Pershing, we have about 60 booths there, and it's every organization. Like I said, LGBTQ, Planned Parenthood, ACLU, you name it, everything that's really important that we have, the rights we have now, the rights we're afraid we're going to lose, and that people can go there and you can get information. Because I think after the 20th of January, come the 21st, the die is cast. There's, we can't dream anymore of things that could happen, that this is our new world. And so we need to, not just that day, we need from them forward, just be strong and together. Our hashtag is Hear Our Voices, and we need to let the administration know we're not going anywhere. We're stronger. They don't have a mandate, and that we need to...
Or a woman date.
Exactly. They don't have any of the dates. We need to be stronger together, not to take from Hillary, and that these are the things that we need to do. Yeah. So we are empowering women and men. This is, we are not just women. Right. We are humans. We are, any gender, any background, it's human rights to me. It's not just women's rights.
And my show's about women's empowerment, but it is like human rights or women's rights are human rights, exactly. and we definitely advocate for all human rights. And also, too, on my website, I always had said "Stronger Together" before it even came out in her campaign.
So you started it.
Yeah, she took it from me.
Exactly. Call her.
I wish.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, it's just because it's so true. What he was saying last night, really, the president, was we are stronger together.
Yes,
we have to unite. And I always say, too, for as far as women's empowerment, that we can't segregate ourselves into different religions, different ethnicities, different ages. We have to unite on this front.
Right, exactly. And, and I am a straight married woman. I am as much for LGBTQ rights as I am for reproductive rights. And I am for Muslim rights as I am, and I'm for religious rights, and I'm Jewish. It's because I think, part of what I thought America is, and I hope it still is it's not selfish. It's not just about me. It's about everyone. There's a lot of things I'm fighting for that here in Los Angeles, we are a sanctuary state. Los Angeles especially, we could live in a bubble here right now, and as horrific as what's happening, it could really not affect us the way it could affect the rest of the country, even the rest of the state, but certainly the rest of the country. But it's not about me, and it's not about you. It's about, we're doing this for everybody. Well, so that's the point. We're doing it for everyone. And it's not just women, because as my husband is involved in this as I am, and,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And I've always said, when it comes to even women's empowerment, which is my focus, that we need men to get behind it, men that believe in women. And let's face it, they have mothers, daughters, sisters,
exactly. Everyone's
friends.
not a woman, right?
Yeah.
The empowering part of so much of this has been empowering for me, but
because it is called Women's March LA. Women's March LA.
Right, and it was Women's March DC, and it is the Women's March. And the amazing thing is, it is started by women, and it, all of the chapters now, women are running this whole thing. There is not a man that is a co-chair of any of these. And there was 4 women that started the one in DC. That's who I reached out to. There's another woman and I are the LA ones, and we have California calls once a week that are all the women that are doing the California marches. And then more importantly, once a week we have the national call, and it's so inspiring. It's fantastic here in LA, and this is going to be huge, and we are going to make we're going to make more noise. We are going to be fighting more. But I'm so proud of the women in Texas and the women in Arizona and the women in North Carolina, the places where this isn't as easy to get done.
Right.
And that they're out there and they're fighting. And if they've got 500 people, and, you hear these stories of, we're going to be in our high schools and the kids are making signs. And it's like the grassroots of this has been it's phenomenal.
It is
You know,
phenomenal.
in fact, today, we have these calls every week, and we say, well, gosh, the Wednesday after the march, we still want to talk to everybody,
Right.
because you've done this thing. And we
Right.
do want to, it's not just that day. We need to make sure that we're all doing this for the
Right.
purpose of moving forward.
Right, right. Like he said, you can't sit back and just assume we have a democracy. You have to continually fight for it and make
Right.
sure that that's what ensues.
I mean, that speech was amazing, and yet
It was amazing.
heartbreaking at the same time.
It was.
It was like the good and the bad.
But how do we? And I always, when we're talking about this in particular, I always think, how can we reach across the aisle? Because let's face it, we need Republican women to get on board with this too. It has to be Democrats and Republican women fighting for equal rights and for all people. When we say stronger together, it does mean everyone.
Right. It's not just Democrats and it's, independents. And there's also, there's this there's only, the margins are so small, which what tips things either way.
Right.
And so it's getting some of those margins. And, to me, it's not the 80% of the die that's cast on the right that's going to be the right. It's those margins. And so those are, I think, what you have to hit. And I think you have to hit the independents. And unfortunately, you have to hit, shockingly to me, there's so many people that still don't vote. There are so many women
46%
that don't vote.
didn't
and
vote.
So, right. And so, you wonder.
That's almost half the people.
You wonder how many people woke up Wednesday morning, with buyer's remorse or, oh my God, why didn't I? You know?
I think there's quite a few people after watching last night that said, why didn't I go vote?
Right.
Why didn't I go vote?
Right, exactly. Because everyone, and so I think that with those women that are in office and the men too, it's like, I have this Pollyanna view in life still. And I think that at the core, people are good people and want to help people. And so, it has to not be a bipartisan. It can't just be partisan. It has to be, these are for us. This is about us. And it's not, and it's about you and it's about me and it's about him and her and everybody. And so, I'm hoping that, I feel like the Republicans, unfortunately, especially the last year of Obama, really made it a partisan issue. They just, the way that we couldn't do Supreme Court, the things that they just blocked. And I don't want Democrats to look that way. And I'm hoping that it's, you can only hope.
Well, you know what? And I think people are tired of the political conversation.
Right.
I think we have to shift the conversation to what are we doing moving forward?
Exactly.
And how are we going to do things that are good for everyone?
Right.
And how are we personally going to participate? Because each person really does count and bring something to the table. And that's why these marches are so important. I know you said we had we have like 8 of the marches right here in California.
Right here in California. And those are the bigger ones. When we were on this call this morning, we were surprised. There's some like Riverside and Pasadena, ones that we're now asking them to fold into ours that I think like with Pasadena, they're going to march from 8 to 9 on their own, then come over to ours because they want to do their communities and come over. But so it is growing all the time that, it is, this is a real movement. I know there other people are using the word movement right now, but I'm feeling, this is so positive. And the other thing is we are really, really not anti-Trump at this point. It is not, my feeling is come the 21st, we can't be negative. We all have to we might have been in the fetal position. We might have all, but this is what we can do now.
Right.
And you can't be angry. To me, there's nothing, a protest doesn't help anything.
Right.
And to look angry, to scream. Even yesterday when they were having the confirmation hearings and there were some people that were screaming, and it was things that I believed in. I still don't think that's right.
No.
Let's not be negative here. It's more empowering and you're stronger to do this positively. What can we do? Unfortunately, it's like climbing up a ladder and then sliding down and having to climb back up again. We're going to have to be fighting for things that we thought we already had, I believe, so that there's going to be that again.
Right.
The positive side, my 16-year-old daughter, who was not that involved because she has a crazy mother that is and a crazy grandmother that was, but she is now. I think that the millennials and those, the younger kids are the ones that are going to have to be fighting once again for the rights that we thought we had. But,
Well, like you said last night, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
That's usually the way it goes, unfortunately. But the good thing that has come out of this is that I think women have realized we can't be complacent.
Right.
And it's set a fire under us and got everybody revved up, which is what this march is all about.
Yes, it is.
And I know you and I both talked about that we wanted to go to D.C., but then we decided to support our hometown.
Right. I had heard about the D.C. march the day that they kind of became a Facebook thing, which ours did as well. And I was sitting in the backyard with my sisters and my nieces on a family day. And I'm, the producer of me is, I'm getting us flights, I'm getting us hotels, I'm flying all 8 of us out. I'm doing this
that's
whole
what
thing.
I thought too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it. And then I took a moment, and there was 2 things that came to mind. First of all, the $6,000 or $8,000, whatever it's going to cost for me to fly the whole family out, put them all up. I think Planned Parenthood, I think LGBTQ, I think ACLU, I think they could use that money right now a lot better than me flying and getting some hotel and being in DC.
Right.
And the other side was, it is more empowering to be doing this across the country. It's more, if we were just all in DC, that's great and that makes a statement. But my gosh, you're going to see this across the country right now. You're going to see everywhere. And I think especially Los Angeles and California is because of what we are, because how strong we are, because of the sanctuary state, because of who we are. I think that we really need the voice.
Right.
And so it's fantastic that people are in DC, but I urge people that are in Los Angeles, and I'm hearing a lot of people now that thought they were going, they're like, wait a second, we're here, we're a really big march. They've got, let the people that are back east, let them do that. Take the money, don't pay for the airline ticket and go donate it to whatever cause you think is the best
That's
cause
a great
right
idea.
now. And come here and do it here.
Yeah.
And, and my hope is you get there, and my hope is that voter registration goes through the roof. But I also want, if in my dream, if every person when they left there could get 10 people to do whatever their passion is. If it's voter registration, if it's LGBTQ, if it's the Muslims, if it's, we've got the LAUSD, if it's the teachers unions, what all of your fears, if you could get 10 people
going.
That weren't with you at the march, if you can get 10 behind you, it's like, it's the good pyramid. You know?
Right. Get the masses.
Exactly. And just everyone you just start energizing, and it's amazing. Like I said, not my world. Amazing just what I've done here, how suddenly you want to be doing more. I did this thinking I need to do something. My husband thought I was having a nervous breakdown, and either I'm going to be sobbing at home and not be able to get out of bed, or this is what can I do for me, for my daughter. But now that I'm doing this, it makes you want to do more at once. It makes you want to make sure that on the 22nd of January we're doing stuff, and the 23rd it's not just that day.
And they always say if you want to get something done, ask a busy person.
Oh my gosh, I know.
And I think it's great that as busy as you are, that you are donating time, because some people might say, I'm too busy to get involved or go to the march. And if you're not too busy and I'm not too busy, then nobody's too busy.
I'm producing 4 series right now. Nobody's too busy.
That's right.
And it's actually what we're trying to do is make it fun. And as I'm asking people to donate, and I'm asking people to speak, and I'm asking entertainers, I don't feel like I'm asking anyone a favor, because this is all of us.
Right. We all need to serve.
I'm one of all of us. This is not me. When I'm doing a TV show, I'm asking you to be on it, and you can say yes or no to me. I don't feel like people should be able to say yes or no. It's like, this is bigger than all of us.
It's an obligation.
And by the way, it's going to be fun. Trust me. My sister and my niece, it's like all of my people are doing. My sister, who's a lawyer, not in this world either. We've got 15 food trucks down there, and we've got, it's like we've got a DJ, we've got, it's going to be
it's going to be a celebration.
It's actually going to be fun.
That we need.
Right, exactly. We do need to feel strong together. We need to make this statement. We need to get this information out. But you know what? It's Saturday afternoon in downtown. It's going to be a great day too.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And I was asking you, where does this come from? Your desire to help humanity. Yeah. And you were telling me that you grew up in a family, that you're 3 generations Angelino.
Yes, we are.
And that your mom was a real trailblazer in this arena.
My mom, we grew up in Palos Verdes, not a very liberal community. Mm-hmm. My dad and my mom were extremely liberal and extremely community-based and aware, and taught us. We were colorblind from the moment we were, new. And she was, as I said to you very proudly, she was a member of NOW. She was things way before it was cool to be it, especially out there. And I came home from school one day, and I walked into the bedroom, and she didn't have a shirt on. She's, naked to the top, and there's these TV cameras in there, and didn't even think anything of it. And it's because she had done a lot of work with the American Cancer Society, and she went live, I believe it was on CBS. She was the first self-breast examination on television using her own breast. And it was like, oh, yeah, Mom, what are you doing today? And it was, so she unfortunately passed away suddenly a couple of years ago. And
sorry.
And we were all sorry. And when my dad when I first told him I was doing this, the first thing he said is, your mother would be proud, because, this is what she taught us. This is what I've taught my daughter, and it's not about me.
And you told me you found out about it on the date of her.
Yeah, it was the anniversary of her passing away. So my oldest sister had flown down so we could, go to the temple and go to the cemetery and do what we need to do. So it was kind of the whole point of the women there, and that's why we did it.
So it was kind of almost like a
Mom
calling.
was there. Mom
yeah,
was totally,
calling. Yeah.
we were sitting in my backyard that she would love.
She's like, hey, get on this.
Having, eating and drinking in the backyard in the sun,
Yeah.
everything that she loved to do with her daughters and her granddaughters. And it was like, Mom was saying, you guys, you
Awesome.
got to go do it.
Yeah. So your daughter also is an activist?
She is now. She, she goes.
She's getting involved in the event?
She's the head of teen outreach. She's
Oh,
in 10th grade at
wonderful.
Harvard Westlake, and she is, once again, this has become extremely important to her. So she
it's
is
in your DNA, right?
Exactly. Very, very proud of her right now. So
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So this is for all people to come out to, kids.
Kids, grandparents. My 89-year-old father, who still works as a lawyer, is fantastic. Doesn't really feel like he wants to march. The march is not that long, I will say. It's only 1.8 miles, the whole thing.
Okay, but
So
he's coming?
He's coming. He's going
coming.
to hang out. He just
Awesome.
thinks he might not be doing the march part. In fact, we're going down the night before. You guys can make
Yeah,
fun
me
of
too.
it. We're going to go the night before, getting a hotel
Oh,
room,
totally.
making
Yeah.
a whole thing of it, and he's going to come. So it's for everybody. And
Absolutely.
you can march. You can not march. You could.
Yeah, great. Is there a cost for it?
It's free.
It's free. And they can find out the details just by Googling March,
You can, excuse me, I'm choking.
Women's March LA.
Women's March LA. Excuse
Okay.
me.
That's okay.
Yeah, Women's March LA. We have a website. We have Facebook.
Okay.
And you can register. You can buy sweatshirts. You can get all the information. You don't have to register. But
Okay.
it's great. It's just our numbers.
They say the happiest people are people that volunteer. And there is something about giving back that really makes this life so meaningful. And I think this is an opportunity if people were looking for something in 2017 to really give back. And it's not much effort and it's a lot of fun.
It's fun. And
would be to come out to
amazing
the
thing
march.
is, I think we've all felt 2016 ended a little hard for all this. And I think this is a great way. We're coming out together. Come with your families. Come with your friends. Come with your groups. And you feel like you're doing something. You're right. You're volunteering. You're getting information. You're having a good time. And it's for us. It's for everybody. And it's,
So-
it's not just one cause either. It's for everybody.
So besides coming out to the march to show this, the unity around the country about how people feel about human rights and all kinds of rights,
Right.
Women's rights and Planned Parenthood, all these things. What is it you think, besides coming out to the march, people can actually do to help ensure this equality?
Well, like I said, I think it starts from the bottom. I think it's locally government. I think we have to start what the Republicans and the right has done so well is started from the local communities up. And to me, that's what you have to do. You have to start making sure your voice is heard, not just nationally, but at the local level, because those are what's coming up.
Right. I had two women on recently, the mayor of West Hollywood, who's a woman, Lauren Meister, and Lindsay Horvath, who's on that council, another woman. Yay, women in politics.
Love women.
And they definitely want to encourage women to start on the local level. And
Yes.
and I think that's what Obama was saying last night. We need more people, if you feel it, any pull whatsoever,
Right.
to be in politics. We do need more women in politics.
Yes, we do.
And we need more women at the decision-making tables, but the only way to get them there really starts with politics where policies are made.
Right, and that's why, and not everyone's going to become a state senator immediately.
Right.
So, start in your local community.
Yeah, be a
That's where it
commissioner and-
exactly.
Yeah.
Go on the school board. Any of those things that get you in there, that start it from the bottom up. And that's what we just need, that groundswell. We're not going away. And we, as I'm seeing from this, we are so strong and women can do it, but we just have to believe that we can.
Right.
And just
And this is history in the making.
It's
And
amazing.
so it's really something important to be a part of. Thank you for putting your time and energy
Oh
into
my God!
it.
It was like it's a pleasure. It's an honor.
And thank you for being here today to talk about it.
Absolutely,
And
and I
we
will
will
see
see you
you.
there
Oh my gosh.
on January 21st in
Yes.
downtown LA, Pershing
Pershing
Square.
There's plenty of parking.
Right.
There's parking at Pershing. The buses are there. You can we're close to Metro. We're close to everything. People are taking buses in communities if you want to do that. We've got a
Great.
whole part where Uber is there so that you can get there any way you can.
Uber. I love Uber.
Uber's fantastic. So
Okay, well, we'll see you all at the march, and we'll be
see
right
you
back
there.
with Tammi Leader Fuller.
thank you.
The Live, Love, Thrive radio show is produced by 360karma.com. Are you a 360 Karma woman? If so, spread the word. Be sure to follow us on social media at 360 Karma Women on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please like us and share us with family and friends. This is the year of the woman, and we are stronger together. The Live, Love, Thrive program is brought to you in part by Honda of downtown Los Angeles, supporting the equality and empowerment of women.
We're back with Tammi Leader Fuller of Campowerment. I said it right that time. I know, Tammi, I'm so happy to have you here today. You started this, but first, let's talk about your background, because I know you had this exciting career as a television executive, producing for the Today Show and other shows. And I thought we would first talk about, what part of that background led you to what you're doing today, which is so cool, this camp that helps empower women, and I just love it, and it's so fun, and I want to, we're going to play a video about it here shortly. But first, I just want to talk about, what was it like? I know you were 35 years?
34 years.
34
in TV.
years in
But
television.
Let me back it up even
Yeah,
further.
okay.
I went to summer camp as a kid. It was my happy place. It was my most favorite place where I could be myself as
Yeah.
a kid and not be the person my parents wanted me to be.
Right.
I became a producer, I think, because I was a great camp counselor.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
think
that's
that I
cool.
started in this because of what I learned, and in camp when you're a kid, you learn life lessons wrapped in fun and games. And that
Yeah.
has been sort of the basis upon which I have built my career and my life. It's all about fun. And so I became a producer. I was in the news business for a lot of years out of Miami during the crazy
Right,
drug
we were both from
era.
Miami.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. During the crazy Miami Vice real life times. And I worked for America's Most Wanted. I worked for CBS News. I worked for NBC for a long time, for the Today Show for like 17 years, actually. And I covered mostly news, a lot of stuff going on in Central America when we cared about that. And but then I became just a general features kind of reporter, and I came in contact with so many women who had impressed and inspired me, experts in health and wellness and love and sex and parenting and productivity and alternative healing and all of these people and all these things. And I used to say to them, I'm coming back for you one day, because when I grow up, I'm going to do a camp for grown-ups, and we're going to bring all of the people that I've been lucky enough to have met in my career path as a television producer, and I'm going to have you pay it forward and share the information that you are giving to people on TV.
I love that. I love that it was always this burning desire in you. I didn't know.
Always.
It was just an epiphany at midlife or something, but no, it was always in there.
It was always, when I was 23, I worked in Club Med as a GO, which is like a
my
counselor.
gosh,
And
how
I
fun.
always believed that you can teach people more when you make it fun and when you make it
absolutely.
interesting and you let them sort of let go and let their hair down.
I'm a big proponent of that. And then you wrote a book about.
I did. In 2005, with 5 other women,
Okay.
we wrote a book about how having it all isn't having it all at all, and having enough should be enough, and what is wrong with us,
Right.
ladies,
Right.
today, that we're never, we don't have enough money, our bodies are never small enough, our kids are never smart enough, our relationships are never good enough. Like, nothing is enough until something really bad happens, and then we go back and go, wow, I really should have
Really had it
appreciated Right. So,
Yeah,
the
like our youth or whatever.
all of it.
Yeah.
I remember I look at pictures of myself on my 30th birthday, and I
We didn't appreciate it
I
then.
remember the pile of clothes I had on the bed going, I look old and fat in that, and what I would give to be that now. You know how that goes. So I created this camp 4 years ago. Today, actually, it's our anniversary.
Happy
Thank you very
anniversary.
much. It's our
That's so
campiversary,
cool.
as we
That's
call
great.
it. And I went to Burning Man in 2012.
Oh, I've heard about
Excuse me,
that.
because I had heard it's a place where you can go and kind of step outside of your life and figure out what you're supposed to do and what your
Now,
purpose
some people
is.
might not know what that is. It's up in
It's
is it
in
Palm
Nevada.
Springs?
It's in
Yeah.
Nevada, and it's a big festival. 65,000 people come. I didn't realize it was such a party. I really came to sort of take some time out and figure out what my purpose was supposed to be. And I think women today, especially women who have been successful in a career, are looking, okay, universe, what did I come here for?
Right.
And so for me, I knew that it was blending playtime with deep life lessons, and I was lucky enough to have access to all of these game changers in all these fields. So I called them all back because for 30 years, I told them, I'm coming back for you.
Right.
And said, I would love to create and produce something that's a weekend out in nature that is away from the noise and the tech and the demands and the making dinners and the driving carpools and the doing, just the crazy of life that trips us up. And let women put themselves first for a change. We are always the last on our to-do list.
That's
and so
true.
So we created this really magical experience that takes women deep, and then it brings them up and they have fun, and then we go deep, and it helps us explore areas that we didn't even know we needed to be looking at. Today, women especially, we only deal with what's on fire.
Right.
I
think we have a clip that we're going to play about Campowerment, just to give people a little idea of what it's about. It's a little 30-second snippet.
I've been in the process for a while of reinventing myself.
Campowerment was fun, silly, it was loving, it was everything I wanted it to be and more.
I love to get a chance to play and get away from my family. I'm telling you guys, I love you, but sometimes mama need a break.
And we're back. Very cool. Oh my gosh. I mean, that looks like a lot of fun.
That was just a little snippet. If you
Yeah.
go on our website, which is campowerment.com, you'll see there's a 4 minutes, and it really shows and it helps people understand how you can really shift and change your life in 3.5 days.
That's very cool.
It's pretty
And
remarkable.
at midlife, most women, like you said, they're trying to discover why am I here? What's my purpose? Especially after the kids go, right? And what a wonderful way to do it in a fun way. I just think it's a genius idea, really.
Thank you. I think why have there are 9 million kids a year who go to sleepaway camp? Why have they never done anything for grown-ups? And
you do this at kids' camps,
we do
right?
this. We rent out kids' camps in the off season, and part of the magic of it is making people a little uncomfortable, putting them together to sleep in cabins together when, excuse me, it's hilarious. I mean, women climbing up on bunk beds, getting down to pee twice a night.
Yeah.
But it's that connectedness. I've never experienced anything. We were so lucky to gather the right people to be able to create a place where every single person who is there for each other. I don't think there's any place on earth where you can go where everybody has your back.
And I've never heard of anything that's just for women, especially grown women. I think it's just brilliant. And it looks like a lot of fun. It looks, do you have to be really athletic to do it?
No,
Because I know
not
you
at
were
all.
an athlete growing up.
I was, but
right?
we make it fun, and so we.
But anybody could do it.
Anybody could do
Okay,
it.
that's
And
cool.
one of the things that we do is we do a high at every place. We do it in Malibu and the Poconos and the Catskills and North Florida. And Napa actually.
I love it. So you do it at four
or
places
5 different
now.
places, yeah. And alternating. We do have 3 camps a year. We're also now working with groups and corporate and organizations that want to kind of turn their group into a team. We've sort of created this magic formula that I don't know how, I don't know why, but it's really sort of pushes people, when you push them out of their comfort zones and you have the right people there guiding them, giving them a roadmap as to why they should shift and change. Magic happens. And I think that I was a TV producer behind the scenes my whole life. I'm not one to be out front, and I don't like that. I'm a little uncomfortable with that. But what I found is that people are very, very attached to my story because they feel like, wow, if you were a producer, you won a couple of Emmys, you had a really successful career. If you could leap with no net and create something from a blank piece of paper, I can too.
Right.
And I run this with my 80-year-old mom.
I love that.
Who is a writing professor. She teaches people how to journal and how to write their legacy. And my 28-year-old daughter, Chelsea, who is a digital marketing whiz, who has really sort of taken that whole social media side and the marketing side and really sort of helped us grow. We've had about 3,000 women come through in 18 camps. We have a 50% return rate, which is shocking.
That is.
But they tell us they come back because there's no other place anywhere in the whole world where you can go, be yourself, learn and grow in ways you don't even know you need, and just kind of chill into yourself and whoever you are at that point in your life. And people come back every year because they say, I'm different from last year and where I'm going is different and I need a little guidance and advice.
Right.
And where else can you go to get that? The other thing that's unique about us is that our experts come and embed themselves the entire weekend. So normally you go to a conference, you see somebody who's of interest to you, you hear them speak, you maybe get a meet and greet with them for 2 minutes, they sign your book and they leave.
Right.
Here, they're sleeping in cabins with you. They are... they're having
that
dinner
might come
with
across
you.
wrong.
No, but
It's not that kind of service.
No, but it's.
But no, you're hanging with them for the
and then,
3 days.
and they become, an expert that you look up to and give you great advice, and then. 20 minutes later, you're, throwing Cheetos on their head that's covered in shaving cream with a shower cap. So that whole commingling of that is really, really a great thing. And
it brings it down to a real authentic level.
The other thing is we don't allow people to say what they do for a living for the first 24 hours.
Oh, my God, I love
Which is
that.
really, we say sweatpants are
And
the
you
great
allow
equalizer.
LA people there?
We
No.
do. And you know what? The interesting part is we have so many people in the industry who come because nobody bothers them for... for a job or whatever. But at the end of the weekend, once you've delved so deeply with people and you've really shared stuff, they want to do business together. So we call it, the Hollywood Reporter called us the anti-networking event in Hollywood.
I love that.
Because people, when you really know somebody in their soul and you really see them go through big stuff, and because we have the right facilitators that are really experts and really know how to help shift and bring in transformation with real takeaway tangible stuff, it's you really can come and reignite your life in 3 days. It's kind of crazy.
And how often do people get to step out of their life for 3 days, away from everyone, away from their family and everything? Like that woman said, I love my family, but hey, it's nice to take a break. And do they take a break from social media too, or you allow that?
We allow them to have their phones, but most of them don't. The first night, everybody's kind of attached to it and so close. But by the second day, they're
out having fun.
They're out and there's nothing. They're not missing anything. And
Right.
it's all about being present. And when
It
you
is
have your
about being
phone
present.
and you see, and it's funny, we allow phones, but people really get judged when they're sitting on their phones all the time, because there's so much going on and there's so much to choose from.
Yeah.
And so it's fun and games and deep life lessons and
the joy is in the moment.
it is.
Yeah.
And if you lose that, you're done. We also have a lot of people who come in very resistant and they sit back for the first day and they say, no, that may not be for me. And always Saturday afternoon or the last day before, our very full last day is when it kind of pops, and then they get mad at themselves. Why didn't I? Everybody got it. I didn't get it. Why didn't I get it earlier?
Right.
And we're so
that's just
hard on
ego.
ourselves. It is.
It's just ego, worrying about what other people think of
That's
you.
it,
And once you shed that, you're just free to have a good time.
And that's why that we have so many repeaters. That speeds up the energy because the first night, those who are feeling awkward, saying, I don't know if this is the right thing, they look at those people singing and dancing and cheering, and they're like, I'll have what she's having.
Right,
and so they jump in quicker because
cool.
they see, wow, if she went and came back and they're raising hell over in the corner singing songs, I just want to be a part of that.
Yeah. And what type of speakers and workshops do you have? Like, what type of topics would people expect to?
So every camp is different. As I said, we're going into our 19th camp. We have one up in Malibu on March 10th to 13th. And everyone is different, but we always have somebody who deals with health and wellness. Mm-hmm. So a doctor usually. We always have a psychologist or two dealing with everything from dethroning your inner critic, how to get rid of that little voice in your head that tells you you're not enough. We have an amazing psychologist.
Who has that? No, I'm just kidding.
from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Joanna Kleinman, who has sort of created this dethroning your inner critic. And over the course of the weekend, you can kill her.
Yeah.
And we have business empowerment experts. We have an amazing woman named Andrea Quinn who has built this community, and she does a whole thing about the power of receiving, which women don't know how to do.
Right.
And it's
Women
sort of, you
are
can't
mostly
create
givers.
if you don't receive. And so
Right.
we have doctors, we have business people, we have a woman who is a Harvard lawyer who now is helping people find their passion. She does a workshop called Your Calling is Calling, Don't Let It Go to Voicemail. And so they're all, but we also have a pelvic floor physical therapist who can teach you how to tighten your downstairs. So it's like anything we do, health, nutrition, food, business, love, sex, relationships, parenting. We have a dozen to 15 experts at every camp. So there's something for everybody. And the funny part is most people don't get what they think they're coming for. They get what they need.
Yeah.
So, and as I said,
they don't even know what they need.
They don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what we need.
Right.
And again, we only deal with things that are exploding in front of us. We're not dealing with anything else that's residual.
That we're pushing to the side and trying not to even acknowledge. And then we realize, if I shed some light on that, I can actually grow and get rid of whatever the heaviness is.
Exactly. Like I know that I should call AT&T and fix my plan one day, but that's never getting to the top of my list because it's and we have so many things like that are lingering.
Can you call them for me while you're at it?
Exactly. But that's the whole point is that we women today have lists this long. Our needs are never at the top. Everybody else comes first.
Right.
And this is a place where you can go, you can let go, you can play, no makeup, hair in a ponytail. And
whenever I say my list isn't done, my partner always says, the list is never done. It'll never be done. Yeah.
And even when you have an hour, you don't want to do that stuff on your list. And so what we
said, if it's done, I'm dead.
You're right. You're right. You're going to die with a very long list, and probably everybody else's stuff is going to be before yours.
Right.
So this is really about putting yourself first. About being with others who are uncomfortable also putting themselves first.
Right.
But really it's about gratitude and appreciation because we're all carrying so many heavy burdens today and we think what we're dealing with is so bad and so rough until we sit next to somebody who's really got stuff.
Right.
And when you are sitting in circles with these women and you're sharing and you're really seeing them, what they're going through and their stories, you really feel silly. You feel like, wow, my stuff is so little compared to that.
A lot of people say, I'll keep my stuff.
You take your shoes and go home. And I think that's a big thing. We get letters from partners and husbands all the time who say, my partner said they wanted to go and be to an empowerment weekend, and I thought, just what she needs, more empowerment, right? But they come home so grateful and so appreciative. They come home. We got a letter from a husband who said, my wife came home. I thought I was going to be in so much trouble. The house was a mess. The kids weren't bathed, and she came home and said, thank you for not being a cheater, a liar, a swindler, and for just being like a regular guy. I'm not going to yell at you for throwing your underwear on the floor anymore. I'm going to appreciate you because now I recognize how lucky I am.
Yeah.
And so the guy says, I don't know what's in the water up there, but when can I send her back? And so that's the beautiful thing. When you think empowerment, you think everybody's going to be like, I'm not going to take BS anymore.
It is a very misconstrued term, isn't it? When I say women's empowerment, I think some people, I'm not a feminist, but it's not about that.
It's not about that. And we say, we had a woman who was...
It's about people stepping into their highest self, living the life they're meant to be, doing the things they're called here to do. That's empowerment. And having that confidence and self-esteem that women so often don't have.
Absolutely.
That's empowerment.
We had a woman who came to camp a few weeks ago whose name was Velvet. And she said, it's funny, my name is Velvet and I am so not soft. She said, and I came to camp to get soft.
Oh, that's cool.
And a lot of people say that, like, you go home and you just... your shoulders drop a little bit and you kind of look at yourself. It's like taking a look at your life from 30,000 feet and saying, is this what the life that I want to live? Is this how I want to spend my days? Are these toxic relationships that are sucking me dry really what I want? And by the way, those who are coming with an issue, like they may think they want to change jobs or they may want to, get rid of
business
or get rid of a mother who was driving them nuts. Most of the time they go home wanting to, with tools to make it better rather than running away. We have so many people who come who think they want to change careers, and when they're there and they realize, I could do that, but maybe what I'm dealing with isn't so bad, and maybe if I just shift the way I react to it, I can be a little happier.
Yeah,
so
perception is an interesting thing, isn't it?
How
we shift it. It's so true that the glass is half full or half empty. So they go home thinking that they come thinking their glass is half empty, realizing they go home thinking it is half full.
And by the way, nothing's changed except the way they're looking
their
at it.
Perception.
Their perspective, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the beautiful
Perception
part.
is huge.
And the women that come here, It's kind of crazy that we don't know who they are. Most of them come through referrals. Oprah wrote about us when we were about 6 months old, which kind of blew it up. God bless Oprah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we still have people coming.
Yeah, I
Somebody
could
just
see
signed
how
up while I
Oprah
was
would
in the
get
green
behind
room
it.
who said, I
Really?
saw this in Oprah 2 years ago and I've had it dog-eared in my bathroom and I had to
gosh.
sign up.
That's
So they come from
exciting.
all over the country and they come really just to try to help themselves figure out what they're supposed to be doing, what's
Right.
their purpose, what's their passion, who they really are,
Right.
and it takes them back to the 12-year-old that they used to be. And some of the feedback we get after is that their partners and their families say, "Wow, you sent me back the girl I fell in love with, or the person that used to be so much fun. Like she came back, and we're having pizza night on Monday night, and we're doing all of these things that are really based in fun that we just forget about because we're so busy." Dealing with
get
crazy
so
life.
consumed
And
every day.
playtime is so important.
So
when people
important.
call me and say, let's go have dinner, I say, let's go to the trampoline place. Let's go play Goonie golf. Let's go for a walk and do something fun and
Oh, I
lay on
like
the ground.
that.
And I think if we just got off our tushies and started to play more and started to connect in ways where we were silly and could laugh,
Yeah.
the world could change.
Yeah, I remember a couple years ago, someone invited me to a birthday party. These women our age, and you bounced on a trampoline and played basketball and stuff and soccer and.
And how much fun did you have?
Oh my gosh, so much fun.
And the conversation is even better because people are alive and their energy is flowing.
Yeah.
And we've really got this incredible community. We're now doing all kinds of events for them here because they just want to play and connect. We have retreated so far from our communities and our tribes that when we sweat, when something goes wrong, we retreat even further. And whereas in the old days, everybody would come together and support each other. And what we have learned from this is that everybody's got stuff and you can retreat, but if you pull together and you ask for support and you lend a hand and we build tribes of these phenomenal women who never knew each other and in 72 hours become lifelong friends who are there for each other.
That's awesome.
It sounds crazy, but magic can really happen.
Well, and anytime you step out of your reality for 3 days, which doesn't sound like a long time, but actually when you think of it, it is. It's a long time to step out of your comfort zone, out of your reality, and just have fun and connect and what a breath of fresh air. I could see how it would really impact people. I think it's amazing what you're doing.
Thank you. I really wish, my wish for this is that more women would recognize that they can get away. If I had a nickel for every person who said, I would love to come, but I could never leave my family or my this or my that.
For 3 days.
For 3 days.
Life is long.
Really?
3 days.
Nobody's
There's
house has ever burned
365
down.
There you go.
And so that's where, that's the thing
that's where people get in their own way.
Yeah, and when you think about how much time you could waste in a weekend in 3 days, and if you could just go and surrender surrender, that's the operative word, just go and say, I don't really even know what I'm coming for. So many people walk up to camp and go, I don't even know what this is. I never looked at the website. My friend told me how to go. I'm here. What are we doing?
Right.
And that's the best part for me
that'd be a
because
cool
they have
surprise.
no idea.
Yeah.
I would say half of the people that happens,
really?
which
That's
is so
cool.
interesting. And by the time we're always in a beautiful setting in nature.
Yeah.
And
just being in nature is food for the soul, isn't it?
And food, I'm all about food.
Oh, yeah,
we
I
don't do
heard you were
camp
a
food. We
foodie.
don't do sloppy joes and hot
Oh.
dogs. We do major, great gourmet food with happy hours and stuff. So
I think you just sold a lot of people.
I think so. No.
That sealed it for me.
Exactly. No, I'm not doing camp with weenies and beans. No chance.
Yeah. No, I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
And I know that the Campowerment girls and yourself, you're involved in the march as well, right?
Yeah. So what's happened
Taking
is
it
we've
back
got
to the
these
march.
communities all over the country that are building, and we do these mini camps all over the country. In fact, next week I'm going to be in Oakland, so I'm going to be doing the march in Oakland.
Oh, awesome.
And the next weekend we're in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we have these communities, these little tribes that are building in these cities, and they reach out to connect. So we have a group that's marching in LA of Campowerment people. We have a group that's marching in DC.
Yeah, I can imagine women coming out of your Campowerment are all about this women's walk.
And it's not even hard. We literally put out a thing that says, hey, we're all marching. Let's get together and march with a flag. That's really what it is.
So you're marching in San Francisco?
Oakland. In Oakland. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'll be here in LA.
And my kids will be in D.C.
Oh, right.
We have a huge contingency in, we have people who run marathons together. We have teams because people want to continue the connection after camp.
I always say people are stronger together, too, like we were talking about in the first segment. And so, it's so much more fun to go run a marathon or do a walk with your group of compadres rather than by yourself. So
Absolutely.
I can see where what you're doing just, flows into not just this awesome life-changing weekend to figure out what next, but also to, like you said, make this circle of like-minded friends. I think that's so important that we find like-minded people that we can hang with.
Especially people who are nothing like us.
Right.
And that's the beauty of camp, is that people really come and you connect with people that never in a million years would your life path cross. And
Right.
that's the growth part,
Yeah,
you know?
that's awesome.
We had a woman who was a zookeeper from the San Diego Zoo who came, and we do something called Camper of the Day, and everybody loved her so much. And this is a woman who never had girlfriends. She lived literally with the giraffes
Oh my
for
gosh.
30 years. Had never done anything for herself and gave this as a gift to herself. And she had the whole camp weeping. She's like, I have never been supported like this in my entire life except by animals.
Wow.
She said, and how you people came together and sort of lifted me and made me feel like I matter. It is unparalleled. And the ropes things that we do a high challenge ropes course at every camp. That's one of the really important things, where we push people past their fear and out of their comfort zones. And it's scary. And when you've got a whole community down there cheering for you, yelling your name, going, how do they even know my name? You know? And you're up there, you're not alone. And you feel the power of your community. It's unparalleled. And we don't have that anymore.
I said this to you yesterday. I only wish you were passionate about this.
I'm sorry. Everybody says that to me. But when you
I
believe
love
in
how
something
passionate you
so
are.
strongly, we're all about be
Absolutely.
good to people. You know,
That's
it's about
right.
being good to people and being good to yourself. And if you don't take care of yourself, everybody loses. So whatever you do, people,
Right.
take care of yourself.
That's right.
And be good to people.
I love what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. I'm sure everyone that attends does. I hope our listeners will try it out.
I hope so.
Campowerment.
Campowerment, yeah.
.com.
.com, and we're on Facebook and all of those.
We have it up on
everything.
the
Yep.
screen, and that's how they can reach you. Thank you for doing this amazing
Thank you,
work.
Catherine. I
Following
loved
your
being
passion,
here.
your calling. This is definitely your calling.
But
no doubt.
We all have one. We need to
all
find
have
it.
one.
It's buried in there. Don't be trapped by security, people.
Yeah, I love it. Getting people to step out of their fears. It's the key to finding your calling, I think. Thank you, Tammi.
Thank you for what you do.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, we will see you all next week here, Live, Love, Thrive, Wednesdays at noon. And you can also find us on, of course, iHeartRadio and iTunes, YouTube. And we just look forward to seeing you next week. Hugs and happiness. Make it a great one. And see you at the March, January 21st.
The Live, Love, Thrive program is brought to you in part by Honda of downtown Los Angeles, supporting the equality and empowerment of women. The Live, Love, Thrive radio show is produced by 360karma.com. Are you a 360 Karma woman? If so, spread the word. Be sure to follow us on social media at 360 Karma Women on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please like us and share us with family and friends. This is the year of the woman, and we are stronger together.